Hi, and welcome to Accidental Thoughts. I'm Jason.
I'm here on a retainer.
Exactly. Because technically you're on vacation today,
Technically, I am not of sound mind or body. Well,
or
I don't know
any
what the body
for that
part
matter.
is. Kind of like a kind of like a dad bod deal.
Hey, be careful, man. You're gonna get some of these girls going talking like that around
Man,
here.
you know that
Only
crap right
dad
there.
bots.
That crap right there. Year here a while back. What was it? It's been going on for over a year. About
Right.
what's it called? What's that deal called? Only dads or
Yeah,
the
only dads. Yep. Yeah.
only dads or whatever it is, where you was talking about going out there and cleaning your koi pond in your
King
drawers.
boy.
Yeah, king koi out here, and people watch you while you mow the grass or you do the
No,
laundry.
I was telling you about a guy who actually gets up and does his normal
OnlyFans,
routine, like
that's what it is.
and stuff, all that.
OnlyFans,
OnlyFans was the original, and
right?
a guy answered it by creating Only Dads.
Only
And do you
dads.
know OnlyFans actually was intended during the pandemic, or as we call it around here, the plandemic. It was actually made to keep artists, because as you know, I was a musician at the time. Um, it was meant to keep musicians and comedians on a flow of income by having people subscribe, and they do their
Right,
stand-up
right,
act
right,
or their,
right.
and that's how it started out. And then all these young girls had the bright idea, let me show my butthole on camera and show somebody plowing me from behind, and I'll charge you $5.99 or whatever the case is. And it took off. There was actually several lawsuits about it even. It's
Right.
kind of weird that they come in and now you say OnlyFans. What do people think? That's the slut down the street making money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Literally. It's not,
But
it's
when you
not,
and
hey, yeah, no, I saw that musician playing a concert on there during the pandemic.
yeah,
No, that's that slut
yeah,
down the street making money.
yeah. But when you brought that up here a while back about, you know, I was thinking about getting permission from my wife about, you know, getting paid to clean my pond. And I was like,
On.
the
And
hell
it
are
was a
you
joke.
talking about? And I hadn't, yeah. And I'm like, they got a deal, man. These people will watch you while you're out there mowing your grass in your drawers. And I'm like, why in the hell would you be outside mowing your grass in your drawers in the first place? And
Exactly.
that's when we stumbled into, these people, actually will pay to watch people, these dudes, you know, clean their pool or, mow their grass. And then I think it
Yeah,
stemmed to the point
exactly.
where they would hunt your ass down at a Home Depot like they're really there doing something and they're trying to pick up a sugar daddy at a Home Depot. And it's like, what in the world is the deal with
No,
that?
there's all kinds of stuff going across TikTok and Insta and all that.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a trend where they were telling these young women to go into Home Depot dressed all
Yeah.
skimpy or however they want,
Yeah.
and that
Out of
guys would
place.
approach them
Yeah.
and yeah, and that guys would come to them and approach them and talk to them. Whereas, guys like you and me know that most of them guys in there, including ourselves, we're not there to
Like a
hamper to
speed trap.
your little. Yeah, it's you're in my way. I'm trying to get work done here. I'll help you find what you need, but you're getting the hell out of here so I can go back to work. I don't need to
Right.
see your camera and you talking about guys simping
Right.
on you and all that. No,
Yeah.
no, we
And
ain't
that's
playing that
see,
game.
that's I don't get that. I mean, that is just stupid to me. I mean,
It
don't get me wrong.
is.
I mean, back in the day, back in the day,
We did some
well,
stupid
that
stuff.
that makes me feel makes me feel a whole lot younger when I say back in the day. Back in the day, you would, you know, okay, after school, when I say after I graduated, so that was back in the 90s. And when that happened,
93.
thanks a lot. Appreciate you pointing that out for me. Part of my
I
slippage in my
graduated the
age. So
same
anyway,
year.
so you would either, you would meet them at, you'd go meet them at the library or, okay, no, I'm just blowing smoke. We'd meet, you know, over at the bar shooting pool or, something
That
like
or
that. You know,
there was the pool halls. You lived in San Antonio for a while. We had a place called Diamond J's.
yep,
That's where we used to meet up. Diamond J's Pool Hall,
yep.
and we'd just have a blast. And
And the thing
most of the time it
is,
was just the guys, and you'd have the girls doing the same
how did
thing
that
except
go?
for without the cameras.
Right.
You know, with the
Yeah.
except for without the cameras, but they'd come in trying to
Right.
find a guy for the night or find a guy to see. You know,
It's ridiculous. And I mean, the thing
it
is,
is. It's
when
silly.
you think about it, okay, if they're there to hunt you down, I use that word, hunt you down, but if they're there to find somebody, you know, okay, first and foremost, if a dude's in a Home Depot anyway, okay, and he's in there, let's say, for instance, he's just shopping or whatever, you know what he's doing?
Yep.
He ain't there looking for you, okay?
No, hell no.
He ain't looking for you.
Absolutely clear. Half time they can't find what they are looking for, and the
Exactly.
last thing they want is you distracting them.
Thank,
So
you know,
let's be real here. Don't get me
thanks
wrong.
to,
Everybody likes a piece of eye candy walk by, but
right.
no, we're not there for
Yeah,
that.
you see somebody walk by, you're like, "You don't belong here. What are you doing in here? This is not a Ross. This is not what you get mad because you're like, this is a Home Depot." Or you say it in a McCoy's or a Lowe's or an O'Reilly or whatever. But no, they don't belong. And what sucks is because of, I'm going to say this because, I mean, it
Uh-huh.
applies to everybody. I mean, I guess it became a real big deal during the pandemic was DIY. Do it yourself.
Oh hell.
Do it
Everybody was told
yourself.
to stay home, and everybody's
Yeah,
wives decided it was time to remodel the
do
entire
it
house.
yourself. There are certain things, I'll admit, there are certain things that you can do it yourself. I admit that.
Yep.
It's when people
Yep.
walk up with these Pinterest videos or these pictures of,
Oh no, no, no. Oh no. Oh, no, worst one ever. I saw it on Better Homes and Gardens show,
yeah,
where they're doing 1900s remodel, you
right,
know, and they said
yeah,
they had this at Home Depot. Well,
right,
yeah, about 1,000
yeah,
miles from here in the Northeast.
yeah. What aisle would you find the reclaimed lumber on? First of all, this is not a,
Exactly.
I mean, are you kidding me? And I mean, and they want to do these things. And a part of you, okay, a majority of the people that do come in here, that go into these places DIY wise, and they want to do something, a majority of them is women. I'll admit that. And it's always
Yep.
something simple. It's like, I just want to do like a picture frame around the mirror or, a little bit of wainscoting on the bottom or something simple. Okay. But when you get this
You can tell the
ambitious,
difference between those and the
yeah,
ones that are in there to find a man. Those are
exactly.
just the ones, "Hey, I got a day.
Yeah,
I'm taking care of a project.
right,
Anyway, you can help me figure this out." "Yeah,
right. But
gotcha."
you see a dude stroll in and he's wearing a pair of golf shorts or something, and he is telling you that he's going to re-shingle his house, and he goes, "So where do I find the shingles?" And I'm thinking to myself, this ought to be eventful. And you can show them. You know what color shingle? Do you know what style of shingle? Do you know what? Oh, I just need to put on some shingle. I mean, okay, all right. This is where DIY becomes stuff up.
Hell no. Hell no.
I mean, it's like, no,
You
my
got an
God.
air compressor and a nailer, right? "Yeah, I got
Yeah,
that framing it." "No, no.
yeah,
Do you have a roofing?" "There's
yeah.
a roofing nailer?" Yeah.
But you know what's weird? You see them and they'll want to build stuff, okay? And that's cool. I mean, I've had somebody walk up to me and show me a picture and said, "Okay, I have this idea. I think I can do it all by myself." It doesn't look that, elaborate or anything. And they show me the picture of a gazebo. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
You realize no. Be able to cut that.
When you shoot for the stars, bro, I mean, this thing here is an
Right.
octagon big gazebo. And I'm thinking, ooh. And he goes, "Yeah, I figure I can knock this thing out over the weekend." Ooh,
Yeah,
right.
you and I used to be professional carpenters, and there was no way we were knocking out an
Yeah, I mean,
octagonal
if you've done
gazebo
them,
in a
if you
weekend.
repetitiously did it, then you have a chance. But I was
Yeah.
like, holy smokes. And I was like, I don't know, but Where would I
Yeah,
find the
you might want
lumber next time? Good luck.
that's when you're sending them oh, that's when you're sending them back out to you see those guys at the end of the street there? Yeah,
Right.
they're called day laborers. I pick a couple of them up, show them your
All right.
picture, and I bet you they can get it done in the weekend.
But
May
think
not be the
about this.
quality you it'll be there. It'll be done.
A part of you is at the same time you're sitting because in your mind, you say to yourself, okay, if I want to DIY something, I'm going to do it and I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, oh,
Now,
yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to walk into it blindly and just say, I'm going to research it a little bit first. It's where these people come in without any kind of research and it finally come to this acceptance like, hey, do you know the difference between Phillips and Flathead? And it is not a reference to a television or anything. They're going to be lost. And then
Is that a TV show on Thursday night?
exactly. You're like, oh my gosh. Or is the guy really doing this? Or is he being manipulated? You're just a strong man. You could do this, and it's within your means to do this thing.
Oh, trust me, he's being manipulated, and we know this for
I'm
a fact.
just,
How many times have you had to go help your mother-in-law or your wife's friend or her friend's friend fix
yeah,
something?
I don't know. Exactly.
Manipulation, pure and simple. Now,
Exactly.
don't get me wrong, it happens to me all the time too. You know about a recent one, a
Right.
dishwasher,
Right. But
and,
it's like,
you know,
where do you draw the
I don't
line?
mind I love fixing things,
Right.
but
I'm
it's
same
one of
way.
the things same time, yeah. At the same time, it's like, you look at your wife and it's like, "You really gotta stop volunteering me for this
Yeah.
stuff."
My list creates itself. I do not need the
Exactly.
additional help to fill my docket. And the thing is, there are certain things. I mean, I like the idea of like DIY, rebuild
Uh-huh.
a 350 in the garage. It's like, okay, that's a DIY I'm up for. I'm good with that.
And it's not something you have to rush unless it's your daily
Exactly.
driver.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's like, okay. But when you have to do something like, build a chicken pen in the middle of the suburbs, it's like, why am I building a chicken pen?
Hey, it's better than building a cat pen or a
Cat
catio.
pit,
You've
yeah,
heard me
or
talk about that,
or
yeah.
a
I'm
parrot's
officially
a
that old, I'm
parrot
gonna build a
sanctuary.
catio for my cats to go outside safely. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what in
because
the
we have
hell am I
hawks and
doing?
coyotes in the area.
Exactly. But the thing is, I think DIY is, I have to say, it's gone. There has got to be a limit somewhere where it's like you've seen these futuristic movies where you walk into the deal and they have like the scanner, it reads your eyes, like bing, it identifies you. Okay, cool. That's what Home
Yep.
Depot or Lowe's or they need. You don't belong in here. Please turn around and exit the building before you are tased. I mean,
Yeah, but here's
no.
I got a counterpoint to that though.
Okay.
First time I started tearing stuff open, I was, 7, 8 years old, but,
That's different.
um, if they don't start tearing something down at some point to DIY,
Right.
how would you ever get like you and me?
Okay. Good point, but I will
Because we learned it
counter
all through
that.
trial and error too.
What'd you take apart? Did you take something brand new apart? Or did you take something that was
Yes.
old and already a POS?
No, I took a couple of brand new walkie-talkies apart and made a
No,
bomb out
no,
of
no.
one.
No, I did. I took junk apart. My goal was it ain't broke
Done
until
that
I
too.
look at
Try
it.
and
That's
fix
the
it, yeah.
difference. But
Now you remember them old alarm clocks that had all the red numbers and that was
mhm,
all it was? Yeah.
right,
I've taken more than my share of those apart trying to repair them back in the day, but if you
right,
remember looking at the inside of those things, they weren't really repairable.
right. But that's the thing. But today these people they can't you shouldn't have people walking in to a merchandising store to buy something brand new and say I'm going to Tim Allen this thing, I'm going to make give him more power, I'm going to fix it. And it's like, no, can't do it, can't. No, don't. You know what's
Yes.
funny though? I wonder, just for once, I need to migrate to the other side of a Home Depot one time, just for a moment, and see how many DIYers that you can catch over in the electrical department, because those are the kinds of people you want to see if there's like fringed hair or, miss missing finger. I'm just saying the injury rate in that
I did a
department would be
DIY.
it would be just so much more of a grander scale than it would be in the sense of, some dude going, man alive, that's going to leave a mark. Other than the fact of a dude that just run 220 through his body, you know, I'm just curious, where does a DIYer draw the line? Because I mean, you'll see him out there picking up
Exactly.
pot and soil and flowers and stuff. That's not DIY doing. That's a honeydew list. That's all that is.
Exactly.
But
I
I
was gonna
want
say,
to.
yeah, and the garden side, it's not there's no everybody can dig a hole, you know?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
But
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 you
yeah,
give
no,
them,
you're right. When you get down to our side of the building, it's
yeah,
not so much that it's unsafe,
yeah.
it's that
The
it's
expectation's
a high
higher.
skill it's a high
Exactly.
skill set.
Yes.
It's not a you can teach people how to change an outlet, how to change a light
Right.
fixture, how to change
Right.
that stuff with relative safety. Even doing it live, you can teach them how to do it
Right.
relatively safe.
Right. But if you gotta explain to somebody how to put a light bulb in, it's like, what's the difference between this? Is this LED? I mean, you know how many people you could screw around and tell them that, you know what, the LEDs are reverse thread. So when you go to put this light bulb in, compared to
Need to have a new fixture that has the reverse thread in it.
exactly, you could really mess some people up. But
Well,
those are the
my
people that
favorite
don't
is
need to be in there.
they come in with lobber base and
Uh-huh.
they're like, "No, it's just regular bottom, regular thread."
Right. Right.
So you hand them a regular thread bulb. "Oh, no, no,
Right.
no, it's the tight it's this big." "No, that's a candelabra." "But it's not a
Okay.
candelabra." No, the term came from way back when they were, but
Right. Or you try
but
to
yeah,
explain
there's
them
different sizes
between a coarse and machine thread, then they're really thrown off. Like, what's the difference? Oh man, here we go.
of threads versus 19. Come on, print
Yeah, but
per millimeter nowadays since everything seems to be metric
exactly.
nut-wise and bolt-wise.
Right. But the thing that was mine. That was mine.
Okay, I was gonna say mine should be on silent,
Mine wasn't. I'm on vacation, man.
obviously.
I'm
Yeah,
on
you're on
vacation.
vacation. You shouldn't even have a phone anywhere near you. No,
I didn't. I didn't even notice you text until just now. Look at that.
wow.
But
No, you're right. The DIYers nowadays are
where's
something
it
else.
a line for us? Where do we know? I mean, because there are those that can't walk in the here. I mean, we're sitting here pointing out these people that, okay, these people don't need to be walking in. We started out with the OnlyFans that don't need to be dragging their butt into a home hardware store, an auto parts store, or
Right.
something like that to go pick up somebody. But what's a store that people like you and me, we shouldn't be walking in there? We don't have any business being in that place. What would it be?
That's a good question because I would say Hobby Lobby, but you know dang well that
There's
half
no
that
wrong
stuff
with
in there
it.
we know how to work with and
What's wrong
use.
with
So
it?
it's
There's
like,
nothing wrong with.
no,
No, I'm
that's what I'm
just
saying. There's nothing wrong with Hobby Lobby. That's the first thing that comes to mind. But then you're like, wait a minute, they got little hobby woods, they got little
exactly.
models, they've
They
got
got all
stuff.
kinds of
Okay,
stuff.
this is all stuff we'd enjoy. But
Exactly.
I can't think of one off the top of
I
my
can.
head.
I can. I
What?
can.
What?
I have
What?
no business whatsoever in a James Avery place. I have no business in there.
Oh, well, that's you. That's you.
I don't have.
I happen to love my wife and want to get her James
Hey,
Avery.
hey, yeah, hey. I understand. I have no. I don't know any of that. It's kind of like I don't know. I don't have a clue. That's the no.
Honestly, I didn't know a thing about it until I met my wife.
Yeah,
So, but on the same
yeah.
note, you've seen before, I have a little nail cross that's James Avery on a chain. That's James Avery myself, but I don't
I
hardly
have
wear
no
it,
idea.
just like I don't wear, my wedding ring because in what we do, it's dangerous to wear stuff like that. So you're gonna get
But
caught on something, get tore up. But so the
so no,
thing
I don't
is, though,
belong there.
James Avery is one of the few jewelers that I actually like. As long as you stay away from the gold stuff,
Right.
it's reasonably inexpensive and it's stuff they love. You can personalize it. You can so again, it's almost a craft. So I can't say that one would fit for me
Yep.
because
Right.
you go in there and you're picking out charms to tell a story on a bracelet or a necklace or a set of earrings for them. So
Yeah,
and
well,
they said all that while you're there.
I'm not doing
But
that.
anyway, it's kind of a craft store for jewelry. Think of it a craft store for jewelry. It really does work that way.
And there's a side
But
of you we just learned.
I'm in touch with my loving wife side most of the time. But
Okay.
but anyway, yeah, looking over my
We'll go
shoulder.
with that.
Hi,
Is
dear.
that a
Didn't see you standing
sniper
there.
rifle over the back of that bookcase? Anyway,
Anyway,
what other place? Name another place. Another place.
that's what I'm trying to think.
Come
What
on,
kind of
man.
place would you fit in? I cook enough, so I gotta say the grocery store fits. I guys like you and me, we're just handy all around. Things
I just said
most of
James
it
Avery for
doesn't
me because I
really.
ain't going in there.
I've been in there too many times to deny it. I
I will
can't
admit,
really
I
say.
mean, like a what do you call it again? What like a vegan grocery? What's it called? What's that place called? Like Harvest Food or no? What's that place where it's
Oh, I
like
know what
it?
you're talking about, but no, they're not quite as bad as you think they are.
Right, but I mean, I don't have a reason to be in there. If I'm in there, I am that chick in heels in Home Depot, man. That's where how out of place I am. I'm like, I don't belong in
Likewise,
there.
if I didn't
I
do
don't
all the
belong
sound
there.
business, I wouldn't even know what the inside of one of those places looked like. But there are times I don't want to buy the food out there. So we've gone over to this place, and I can't think of the name of it for the life of me either. And them birds about to make me mad. But us guys, us ladies,
DIY us
they're
a
being silly.
parrot house.
You've seen the size of their cage. It's not like they ain't got enough room to get away from each other.
It's just like everybody else.
Exactly.
They're
Exactly.
still living out the pandemic. You got them in a crate.
I wouldn't know what the inside of one of those places, but they actually have some good, like the charcuterie meat packages, and I don't put them on a board. I'll take it over
Say
to the
that
green
again.
there and I'll just snack on the
Say
meats.
that again.
Yeah. The charcuterie, charcuterie.
No
Isn't that
idea
way it's
what the
pronounced?
hell you just said,
Charcuterie
man.
is a meat and cheese where they bring out the meat and cheese on a like a cutting board and it's an hors d'oeuvre
Okay.
type thing. Um, but they actually came up with a name for it, God knows when, called charcuterie
Charcuterie.
or charcuterie. I've heard of it,
Whoa,
but the one joke to make fun of it, the
charcuterie.
charcuterie board.
Whatever.
But anyway, it's where you get the really fine deli meats, like the what is it? The really fancy bacon. I can't think of the name of it now.
Dude, you're in an aisle. I don't know what it is. Why are you asking me?
Oh no, you can get this stuff at Costco and Sam's for God's sakes in the bulk packs, but
I don't do that.
like
What the hell?
the really nice dry Italian salamis and capicolas and stuff like that. And then they have prosciutto. That's the one I'm looking for. They'll have slabs of prosciutto, but you can go to these little frou-frou grocery stores, and it's Trader Joe's, by the way. I just remembered it. Yeah, I know. I see you sneaking off.
I was not
But
here.
you can get those really fine meats like that, and I've made a meal out of those before. So,
Well,
and it's cheaper than buying those other things. And it's not very often you get prosciutto just to, take off.
well,
So, and it's not the sub shop prosciutto. It's the good stuff.
I do have a question.
Kind
Reverting
uh
backwards. Go back. Let's get away from the cooking portion here
That's
to
what I
the
say.
news.
It's hard for me to find a store I don't belong in because I cook. I know how to fix things. I know how to do things. I know how to, it
And
doesn't,
that's
it
why
doesn't matter.
you
I
were
do all.
picked up so early in life. Anyway, let's back up. Okay, let's back up a little bit.
Yep. That's why I was picked up so early.
Why why was it that whenever it was you brought up the only dads deal about mowing your yard or whatever? What
Because we
brought
were,
that
we were
to your
talking about
attention in
a
the first
guy.
place?
What brought my attention to it, and I shared this with you, and that's how we got on the conversation, was there was a guy somewhere who got on this and was literally doing his morning routine, like getting up, shaving,
Right.
brushing his teeth, and he had his camera on in front of there, and he had like 1 million subscribers.
What?
And he didn't do any of the things these little, whats are doing out there. He just literally went through his morning and daily routine and filmed it,
What?
like live streamed it pretty much.
And you found
And
this out how? How did you find this out?
through an article, through an article,
Okay.
just
Because you sat
like a
there and
news
said
article
that,
that
and I'm like,
I ran across.
okay.
Yeah. And I
I'm
sent
just
it to
making
you. I was
sure.
like,
I'm
"What
like,
the hell? We're in the wrong line of work."
I'm just
This
making
dude's
sure.
making
When you
money
said that,
just
I'm
doing
like,
his normal everyday
okay.
stuff.
Okay.
So
I just want to know how
that
you stumbled across it because I'm like, what?
I stumbled across the dude, and then you looked at it and you're like, "No kidding, really? This dude's making money doing that?" And
Yeah,
then
because you
we
told me about,
started making fun of it, like, "Oh, we're King Koi's gonna go out in his
yeah,
American thong undies and clean the clean the pond out
yeah,
and film it and make money."
yeah.
We were making fun of it. It was never a serious thing.
I don't know, man. You were sitting there trying to tell me how you were going to convince your wife there is some money to be made here.
There is money to be made, but I would not be out there cleaning a koi pond with my fishing tackle hanging.
See you
I
pop
don't
up
get
around
that
the
one.
bush and then that beard and everything. You're like, what in the hell's going on over there? There's a garden on steroids.
Hello. Like Mrs. Doubtfire, but without the whipped cream, right? Yeah,
Well, I for one am not. I mean, I am a DIYer. I am,
yeah,
and
obviously,
right, I am.
and then some.
But I am, how do I put this? I research it a whole lot more. I read about, I try to understand, okay, what is it I'm trying to overcome here? What am I trying to fix? What am I trying to do? And
Yep.
before I make any kind of investment step or anything like that, and if there was ever any kind of a piece of advice that I would give people, period, about the fact of, it would be simply do the legwork first in your mind. Figure out exactly what you're looking at and the
And
extensiveness
what your
of
goal is. Yeah,
what you don't know. Don't go with what you do know. If there's 50 steps to this and you know 3 of them, that does not mean jump. Let's do this. No,
exactly. It
you
means go
need
to
to
YouTube,
look.
search out some videos on how
Exactly.
to do it step by step,
Right.
and don't just watch one and go, "Oh, I got this."
Right.
Watch a dozen, watch 2 dozen. You can
Exactly.
do it. You can do
Exactly.
we all started somewhere looking at something going,
Right.
"Huh, how am I gonna fix this?"
Right. I can sit here and tell you safely. 2 years ago, me sitting here in front of a camera doing a podcast wasn't gonna happen because
Yeah,
of
exactly.
constant conversation and everything else. We sit here now and I'm doing this and I'm not gonna
Sharing
sit
our
here and tell
stupidity.
exactly. There is nothing graceful, there is nothing great, but I can tell you this much, you can hear my voice, it worked.
Exactly. Exactly,
You're
and,
here.
we don't measure the success of this by the amount of subscribers we have, whether or not we're making money from it. We're doing this for
There
the
is
sheer
no
fact
money
it's
to this.
so far out of our realm of comfort and so far out of who we are on a regular basis, but we thought we were funny to each other. Like, we talk on the phone all the time. We thought we were hilarious, and I kept saying, we ought to do this. I see stupider shit than this on the internet all day
Right.
long. But we did not think we would ever get to it. I honestly had given up. I kept saying, "We ought to do this. We ought to do this," but it was kinda half joking, and then one day you were
Right.
like, "Let's do it." And it's like,
Yeah.
"What?
Yeah.
Crap, now I
Yeah.
gotta do the legwork."
Right. And $1,500 on my end later, and I'm like, okay, now I can
And you
sit
weren't the
here
only
and
one who
do
was making
this.
that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And for me, it's like, it's just for fun.
literally.
I'm doing it for
Yeah,
fun. That's it. And
and
there are
you
days
know
that
what?
it's
If you
fun.
just blow up. Yeah,
Right.
and if you guys out there make this blow up to where we make some money off it, that'd be awesome, but
I'm not doing it for
we
that.
aren't doing it for that. Yeah, we're not
Nope.
doing it for that.
I'm not
We
doing it for
both
a
make
career.
good livings doing what we do,
Nope.
and we just thought we'd, as I said earlier, share our idiocy with the rest of the world, and if you guys think it's funny, hey, leave us a like, a comment, and share the channel,
Tell us
just
how
so
much
other
we
people
really
can laugh
suck.
at our idiocy. Yeah, a lot of times we really suck. We're
There are
cracking each other up, and
days.
everybody else is like, "The hell are these guys laughing at?"
If you want
But
exclusive, I guarantee you. all day long, we can talk about this crap, man. There's times that it gets a little carried away, and I
Wow.
mean, we'd have conversations that, you know, we would not put on here. But and I'm not saying
Wait, I s
we go down a dark alley or anything like that, but it's kinda like, well, I really don't wanna, talk about this. It's kind of like
exactly. We also try to keep most of it for this show clean, y'all. We try not to
exactly.
get, like I let an expletive slip a minute ago. It happens. But most of this we're trying to keep fairly Christian. And I say fairly Christian because we're human and we're idiots.
I just
But overall,
right,
I do want to say thank you to those of you who are listening, who are
right,
providing feedback.
right,
And we love doing it. Don't get me wrong.
right. We
It's
get a bigger kick out of when people that we do know say something to us about the fact of, "Hey, you should talk about this," or, "Hey, that was pretty
sorry you're
funny,"
feeling
or
that
yeah,
way.
yeah. I mean, there's always something. And I mean, again, it's not a sense of trying to make a living or anything like that. It's not that. We sit down here
Nothing.
one time a week for 30 minutes,
Yep.
and I can tell you right now, 3 minutes ago when we started this,
Yep.
I did
We
not
had no
have,
idea where this was
I
gonna
had no
go.
topic. All I had in my head was ramble. And that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
But
And
I
that's what we're
knew,
doing. Yeah.
thanks to society and thanks to things like that, you provide. Oh, yes.
Yes.
You provide.
Oh, yes.
And with that, that is another week. This was
Yep.
fun.
And I say thanks for joining us once again on Accidental Thoughts. I'm Jason,
And I
and
am
that's Jimmy
Jimmy.
over there. Yeah, he's Jimmy.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm the Earl of Duke tonight. So
Yeah, all
y'all have a
right.
blessed one. We'll talk to you next time.
That's what I'm talking.